Okay, on the top somewhere, let's write out 5 ways to prove triangles are congruent to. The first way that we dealt with 2 weeks ago was side, side, side. What's another way?
Angle, side,
Angle, side, angle. Very good. Another way?
Angle, angle, side.
Angle, 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 side. That's correct. And there's one more, although there's 2 more.
Side angle, side.
Side, angle, side. And the way that I want you to recognize this one, but I'm not going to have you prove it. It's going to be a hypotenuse leg. So today, the only thing we're doing is the following. Everything stays the same except CPCTC. What this basically means, you may only use CPCTC after stating that 2 triangles are congruent to. Now, this may mean nothing at the moment, so let's go ahead and prove the first one for now. Okay, how many givens do I have? 2, so let's write out the first given. R is the midpoint of PS. And the reasoning for this has to be the given, which is a freebie, right?
yes.
So if I know if R is the midpoint of PS, then I know what 2 must be congruent to.
PR and RS.
Yep, so let's write out PR is congruent to RS. I cannot write the R. And that's a definition of the previous statement. In this case, it's a midpoint. So that pattern is going to stay the same thing for the second given. So let's go ahead and kind of loop it around. So my third statement must be what?
R is midpoint.
R is the midpoint of QT. Midpoint of QT. And that's also by the given. So then I know if R is the midpoint of QT, what 2 must be congruent according to the picture?
QR, RT.
QR and RT. And I forgot to write out the sides that we're corresponding to. So we have QR
Definition of midpoint.
is congruent to RT and is definition of midpoint. Thank you. Do I have another given?
Yes.
Yep. Which is P what? Q is congruent to ST. Let's notate that. And also write out S as in side. And that was by the given. So can I now state that the triangles are congruent to?
Yeah.
By side, side, side congruence? Now, it doesn't matter how you name the triangle. I'm going to name it from P, Q to R. But it has to be consistent on the other order. So since I went from P, Q to R, I need to go from S, T to R. So now let's look at the title of our assignment today. It says, after stating the 2 triangles are congruent to, my next reasoning is corresponding part. So let's see if that is true. Angle P is congruent to angle S. Is angle P really corresponding to angle S according to the 2 triangles? So that will be our corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent to. And it's an acronym. So it'll be CPCTC. If you're not happy with this, you can write out corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent to, and that's where the acronym CPCTC is coming from. But I'm good with the acronym. It's shorter for me. So again, the only new thing today is the last part. So when you're ready, let's move on to number 3. Number 3, Okay, if you're ready, give me a thumbs up to move on to number 3. We are all ready. All right, so let's go to number 3. Okay, number 3 is a little bit awkward because of the following reason. How many triangles do you see that could potentially be congruent to? How many sets? It could be the farthest on the left and farthest on the right, or it could be the middle size, right? Let's see how we can determine that. So angle 1 is over here. Angle 6 is over here. For me to include angle 3 and angle 4, we are really looking at this triangle versus this other triangle. So we can include the 1 and 4, and we can include the 3 and 6. Does everyone see that? Yeah? So let's go ahead and redraw this. Basically, let's pull it out. So this one, we have to separate it. So on my left, I'm going to put in triangle ABE. Here's ABE. And on my right, I'm going to put in triangle CBD. So we have CBD. And the corresponding angles that were named was angle A is 1, angle C is 6, angle E is 4, and angle D is 3. So I basically separated them so it's not overlapping the other. Is everyone good with how I separated it?
No.
Not yet?
I'm joking.
Okay. So then let's write the first given. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 6 by the given. Go to it and notate. And let's write out A as an angle. And then we can notate what else? Angle 3 is congruent to angle 4, good. That's also by the given. So here's angle 3, and here's angle 4. Is everything pretty much given to us on this one? Oh, goodness. Here's an angle. What else is given? AE is congruent to CD, and those are my sides. So we have AE is congruent to CD. That's also by the given. So now we know these two triangles are congruent by side, or is it side angle side or angle side angle? Angle side angle. Now let's say I want to name this as triangle ABE. How should we order the other one to be consistent? Triangle CBD.
Yes.
So now looking at this, let's look at our final goal. Is this angle B up here corresponding to the other angle B? They are corresponding. So we have angle ABE is congruent to angle CBD because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent too. So our acronym is fine. You can spell it out by abbreviating. That's completely okay by me. So let's do our last one, which is number 4 with the neighbor. Go as far as you can. But I will first separate it.
Okay.
Was your third information the reflexive property of congruence? Is AD part of the one triangle versus the other? Yep. So I would say AD is congruent to AD by reflexive property of congruence. So now we know the two triangles are congruent by what, and what?
Angle, side angle.
Correct? And I want to call this triangle ABD. How would I order the other side to be consistent with ABD? Triangle,
DCA.
correct, DCA. And then we know angle B and angle C are what kind of parts?
CPCTC.
Good. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent too.